can't do it alone.
This holiday season, Sesame needs your support. Donate now at sesame.org. That's SESAME.org. Because the world needs Sesame, and Sesame needs you.
Elmo loves you. Thanks for making a difference.
Get your mother-loving ears on because your big-time radio DJ's got news. PayPal lets you choose how you want to pay for all the stuff. With PayPal, I can pay in-store, pay online, or pay over time. What's that? You want this translated into song? I hope you're sitting down. You can pay your own way. You keep those here. Don't just pay, baby. PayPal.
Learn more at paypal.com.
WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler, an iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human. Kicking off your Saturday the right way. You're listening to Sean Barnard live right here on The Gambler.
Hello, welcome back to the Fox Sports The Gambler airwaves. Here, my name is Sean Barnard, here with my guy Sam Oshtry, who's battling through some camera issues over there, but that's all right. We are all good on this end of things. We got a lot to get into today. This is a busy stretch of the sports calendar, one of the more eventful days in all of sports last night. We had boxing, we had college football, and we had the Sixers win a pretty impressive basketball game. So, Sam Oshtry, my friend, how are we doing on this fine Saturday?
Great. One of my favorite Friday nights of sports in a while. I mean, it's usually like an NBA on Prime type of night, but then you have college football playoff, Bama beating Oklahoma. I'm even embarrassed to admit that I turned into the Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua fight. I was like, all right, I'm not watching this. I'm not falling for the propaganda for another time for a Paul fight. And then Timberwolves Thunder wraps up. I'm sitting there. All right, I'll put on the fight.
Why not?
Did you watch?
I watched this morning. I did not stick up for
you didn't miss
Jake
much.
Paul.
You didn't miss much. But Jake Paul somehow is a marketing genius. He gets everyone to buy in to his fight like it's going to be some great fight, and it never is.
Yeah.
But it's only 15 minutes, so it's not like taking that much time out to watch a Jake Paul fight. But
I did see a lot of the grabbing the legs and falling over and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, it wasn't a real like Anthony Joshua was so much bigger than him. It looked like he belonged.
Yeah.
But credit to him for going out there and fighting a guy who he knew was gonna kill him. I mean, I guess it's worth it when, what did you get, 50 mil, 100 mil for that fight?
Yeah.
Probably something ridiculous.
But Sam Oshtry, I did not exactly bring you here to talk some Jake Paul right here.
I thought that's what we're going to do for 2 hours.
As I do have to kick things off. That's right. We're playing that song right here because the Philadelphia 76ers with an absolute statement win last night over the New York Knicks. Now, I know you are my resident Knicks fan that we have on the program here.
Don't label me that.
I mean, you label yourself that. I would
never.
With some of these
the truth, which is what I'm about to do today.
All right, so let's speak the truth because the Philadelphia 76ers took down the New York Knicks in a 116-107 victory. The same New York Knicks that won the NBA Cup on Tuesday. Does that make, by the whatever theory this is, are the Sixers officially the NBA Cup champs
now?
You
want to hang a banner?
Yeah, I would
hang a banner. Let's hang a banner tonight against Dallas.
Before we dive into this matchup, they should have hung the banner, man. They should absolutely hang.
I don't think so.
Why?
Well, I'm always a don't hang a banner guy for a meaningless championship. The game that they play doesn't even count towards the records or the stats. The NBA Cup is meaningless. Even if it's fun basketball and it's great basketball, really high-level hoops, the Cup is meaningless. So I'm a anti-Cup guy, and because of that, I'm like, don't hang the banner. There is some interpolitics at play why they didn't hang the banner. I think this was a slap in the face and a middle finger that James Dolan sent to Adam Silver in the NBA league office, who he does not like at all. So I think that is why they didn't hang the banner.
What is the win there? What is the win by sticking up the middle finger like that?
Because the NBA wants them to hang the banner to bring some legitimacy to this tournament. And they're saying, you want us to do this? We're not going to do it because James Dolan doesn't like Adam Silver in the league office and has a lot of beefs with them, ongoing lawsuits and whatnot. And so he's saying, all right, I'm not going to hang this banner because you want me to, essentially.
I mean, I guess this is what I would say to the Knicks banner conversation is we're going to flash forward 20 years from now. There's going to be no championship banners. There's going to be no Eastern Conference victory banners right there. And they're going to say, man, I wish we had that NBA Cup one back.
But that's kind of the point because this isn't bringing a championship banner, an Eastern Conference banner to the stadium. It's like, even if they don't make the Eastern Conference or win Eastern Conference championship this year or win the NBA Finals this year, it's not like the season was validated because they won the NBA Cup. So it's like, who cares?
I mean, it's still a banner, man. You hang that thing. You won the NBA Cup tournament. Do you care about the Cup? Do you respect the Cup, Sam Oshtry?
I don't. I've been pretty clear. I don't respect the Cup. I have zero respect for the Cup. It's like NBA teams still hang the division banner.
Yeah.
Why? Why are you hanging the division banner when the divisions mean nothing in the NBA?
Well,
Too many banners. Enough with the banners. Like, it's like the tribute videos for the NBA. Like a guy played for somewhere for 2 years, maybe averaged 7.6 points. And he comes back and gets a tribute video. It's too much of that.
Who did I see that got one this? Well, I think it was Blake Wesley got a tribute video.
That's absurd.
Yes,
if that's
absolutely absurd. I believe that is who it was that I saw. But let's dive right into the win last night. So a 116-107 victory by the Sixers. Sixers outscoring the Knicks 28-20 in the fourth quarter. VJ Edgecombe being an absolute difference maker down the stretch on both ends of the floor, hitting a big mid-range jump shot, hitting a big three-pointer, getting a steal to ultimately secure this win right here. I know you're going to push back and say this was a spot play. The Knicks played 4 games this week on the second night of a back-to-back. What was your takeaways while watching last night?
It was all about that backcourt that the Sixers have, VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey, who were both phenomenal last night. And VJ Edgecombe kind of hit a wall a little bit early on in his rookie season, where for the first few weeks of the season, it was him and Maxey leading the league in minutes. Those guys were just playing so much. And that's hard for a rookie to come in who's used to playing college basketball, 40 minutes, only 25 to like 32 games in a season, something like that, depending on how you do. And to come into the NBA and play that much is hard. And then he got injured a little bit. He missed some games, but looks like he refound his rhythm. And he was terrific last night. And the other takeaway is how good Paul George has been with Tyrese Maxey. When Tyrese Maxey and Paul George are on the floor together, without Joel Embiid, the Sixers are 6-1. Like, that's a notable stat that I think should matter. But it was the speed and the athleticism of the Sixers backcourt with Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, the backcourt of the future, one of the best future, brightest backcourts in the NBA right now. And the Knicks, who were tired and exhausted because of their schedule, just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, totally agree. As I toss you a little
we're dealing with some camera
to
issues.
the side. Yours coming through blurry on my end, so give that a shot if you want to give it a whirl. But I do want to dive deeper into this matchup. Is one of the things that really stuck out to me last night is this is a broad blanket statement. So obviously there's intricacies that apply to each individual player that is kind of a little different in this sense. But generally, when you are building out like an NBA team, that the size and athleticism, you're kind of sacrificing skill and finesse. And then when you lean into the smaller guards, the ball dominant players, that you are leaning on that skill, that ability to create shots, and do sacrifice a little bit of that athleticism and size and sort of the brute force aspects of basketball. And as I was watching the Knicks and Sixers play last night, that this was a situation where you saw the clear discrepancy there. That the Knicks, to their credit, I said several times in the second quarter last night, the Sixers are getting bullied right now. That the Knicks won every single rebound, every 50-50 ball. That you saw defensively, the way that they were imposing themselves. It was a bit of a wake-up call. And I was sort of thinking through like the actual building out a roster. Is this a problem from the Sixers? Because they obviously do sway on the other side of that conversation. And when you are as guard dependent as they are, with Tyrese Maxey, with Jared McCain, with VJ Edgecombe, who are all guys that I believe in to the fullest extent as basketball players. But when you do talk about actually building them out, can they create advantages over the likes of OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, players of that magnitude, which is obviously the direction the Knicks have leaned into here. And then things kind of swayed down the stretch that I saw. All of a sudden, you see why this matters. The skill, the ability to get to spots, the ability to create looks like that. And you saw why that mattered a little bit more. And that to me was the difference down the stretch, is it wasn't just dependent on winning the 50-50 balls, doing the hustle plays, which the Knicks are still particularly excellent at. And the Sixers just made shots when it mattered, man, and mainly VJ Edgecombe. That was a grown-up victory, and it is meaningful to me that I think his 2 best games this entire season have come against the Knicks and the Celtics right there. So I'm all in on VJ. We're going to keep battling through some camera issues here, so we're going to take a quick break on this side to get lined up, but I do want to get Sam's thoughts on that exact theology on the other side. So keep it locked right here on Fox Sports The Gambler, Pick Swap Media, on Twitter, wherever you guys are listening at. Me and Sam will be right back in a quick 3-minute break.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Watch for an accident 30 bypass eastbound at 113 in the right lane. Heavy back at 322. The Schuylkill has delays eastbound. Montgomery Drive to the Vine. Westbound backs up Boulevard to Belmont. On 95, we're backing up southbound Coppin Avenue to the Betsy Ross Bridge. Jason Lee, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
10 athletes will face the toughest job interview in fitness that will push past physical and mental breaking points. Only one will leave with an iFit contract worth $250,000. Trainer Games on Prime Video January 8th. Watch the trailer on trainergames.com.
Hey, it's Jesse. Holiday football has arrived and every win matters more. With DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, the unexpected can turn game day into payday. First touchdown, anytime TD live bets when your team scores, you score. And don't forget, DraftKings has your back with early exit. If your player goes down in the first half, you still get paid in cash. With DraftKings, you're protected through the entire first half. Why bet anywhere else? New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SPORTS1480. That's code SPORTS1480. Bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Pennsylvania only. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
Spreads, totals, and all the prop bets in between. It's The Gambler. Your weekend sports edge starts here. This is Sean Barnard live on Fox Sports The Gambler.
And we're back after some brief technical difficulties right here for myself and Sam Oshtry. You're listening live on whether it is Fox Sports The Gambler, the iHeart airwaves, on PickSwap Media on YouTube, or streaming through socials there. I appreciate each and every one of you guys hanging with us today. And I do want to circle back to the point that we left off on, Sam, is I did think we saw a little bit of a contrast in styles of building out rosters last night. What is your thoughts on sort of that overall principle of the Knicks being a team that obviously still has Jalen Brunson as the straw that stirs the drink, but all that athleticism, all that size, all those defense-motivated players, and then the Sixers sort of building in an opposite direction with the guards that they're so dependent on as decision-makers. What's your thoughts on that?
I honestly think the Knicks have built a perfect offensive roster.
Perfect.
I mean, offensively, I really do think it's perfect because what they've done now is it's not the heliocentric approach where everything revolves around Brunson anymore. And they're getting him off the ball more early, where he's become a more of a play finisher than he is a play initiator. And what I mean by that is he's getting off the ball early and his time of possession is down. His seconds per touch are down. His dribbles per touch are down. All that's down, but his usage rate is actually higher than it was the last few seasons. And they're doing that because they're getting him the ball later in the possessions when they've swung it around a lot, getting other guys involved, and he's getting these late catches where he's either attacking closeout, getting catch and shoot jumper, and his catches are coming with a rotated defense rather than trying to create the advantage with like a ball screen or just him in isolation at the start of the possession. And you can do that when you have Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby and all these guys who also have creation ability. Of course, we know what Karl-Anthony Towns is. So like, I think and when the Mitchell Robinson comes in, they gain so many extra possessions because of the offensive rebounding. So I think there's no right way to kind of build a roster in today's day and age. But I do think that the Knicks roster is pretty complete based on the personnel. But the Sixers have a really fast and speedy backcourt where it's like that is their approach. And then you have McCain back there. They have an explosive offensive backcourt, and I think that works too. So I think they did as contrasting styles to your point, but there's no one right way.
Yeah, I do agree. I think the calculus changes for every team depending on maximizing things. I do want to know, VJ Edgecombe, man, was that the best defense that Jalen Brunson has maybe ever seen?
It was really good. And that's the kind of the formula that you want to put on Jalen Brunson is a lot of length and athleticism. And even think about that playoff series 2 years ago between the Knicks and
Kelly
Sixers.
Oubre.
Kelly Oubre was the guy who was the primary defender on Brunson, and Brunson struggled through those first 2 games. Think about the Pistons Knicks last year. Asar Thompson was the guy who went on Brunson, and he had a lot of success. Brunson's such a great player that he will always figure it out. There's no one in the league who can stop him over a few game stretch. But that's the formula, and VJ Edgecombe did a great job, especially against a really exhausted, tired Brunson. So credit to him, not just the offensive plays he made, but defensively, he was phenomenal too.
Yeah, 1 of 10 shooting that Jalen Brunson was with VJ Edgecombe as the primary defender. And my favorite part about that stat was the first basket. The first matchup is when Brunson got that one. Did not allow him to score beyond that right there. And also I give credit to Edgecombe. Didn't fall for the gamesmanship, man. That he wasn't buying the pump fakes, the pivots, the Jalen Brunson stuff when he gets in the lane and wants to get to the free throw line. Edgecombe wasn't buying any of that, which is pretty uncommon for a rookie, I would say. And I think this is a larger point about the rookie class, like because this does apply to Cooper Flatt, Con Knippel. Even if you want to dive, Dylan Harper is certainly in the mix. And even if you want to dive deeper, the Ryan Kalkbrenners of the world. But VJ Edgecombe's still in this mix. They play like seasoned vets, man. Like this dude does not look like he's 20 years old. He does not process the game like he's 20 years old. And I do think that he is checking the box for me as VJ Edgecombe is absolutely built for the bright lights and big moments.
The rebounding battle was huge, and you talked about it earlier. The Knicks actually out-rebounded the Sixers by 21 in that game, which usually if you out-rebound a team by that much, you're going to lose the game. But the 50-50 balls the Knicks were getting early in that game did not happen. There was multiple possessions in that fourth quarter where there was a 50-50 ball, and Brunson and Josh Hart were kind of in the area. And those are two guys that always dive on the floor and always win 50-50 balls. Any Villanova guard will always win a 50-50 ball if you played for Jay Wright. They didn't. Like the Sixers were the ones who came on top, and that kind of just shows the exhaustion that the Knicks were dealing with. Again, 3 games in 4 days, all 3 of those games in different cities, had to play an extra game on Tuesday than the rest of the league. But it was still the Sixers that won those 50-50 balls and were able to overcome a 21-point rebounding difference. And the last positive Sixers note is they won a third quarter.
Yeah.
The Sixers do not win third quarter. So the worst third quarter team based on net rating in the entire NBA. And they beat the Knicks in the third quarter by 3 points and then went on a huge run to close that game. So they took advantage of the exhaustion that the Knicks were feeling. And those are the games that the Sixers have to win. They're going to be in that play-in mix. And right now they're the 5th seed. I think so too. But like it's going to be really between like that 7 and 4 seed, it's going to come down to a few games.
That's true.
So when you want to battle for playoff positioning, these games in December are really important.
The Philadelphia 76ers are absolutely contenders. Agree or disagree?
Contenders means they can win the championship. We throw the word contenders around way too much. Like I don't think the Spurs
How about
are
win
contenders.
the East? I think the Eastern Conference is playing for second place. I don't say that.
I agree with that for sure. I don't think that the Sixers can win the East. I do think the bracket works out in the right way. They can make a conference finals run for sure.
I would take that. I would sign up for that.
Think about it if they're like the 5 seed and they have to play the Raptors or the 4 seed.
Sure.
Easily I would take the Sixers in that series. Then maybe the Pistons end up staying at the 1 seed. The Pistons would be favored. I'd lean Pistons, but that's a winnable series for the Sixers. There's a path out there for them to make the conference finals. But again, like, let's have this conversation about Joel Embiid. Does that mean anything to you yesterday of how well they played and how well they've been playing with Paul George and Tyrese Maxey without Joel Embiid?
Yeah, and also shout out to our guy Justin. Huge testament to Drummond on the rebounding as well. And the 3-point shot is now just like a legit thing for Andre Drummond. The Brook Lopez career arc is in full form. I'm still skeptical. I mean, dude,
I don't know if he's picking and popping, but yeah, when he's spaced to the corner, they're not going to guard him.
Yeah,
he can make an open one.
Shot 3 for 4 from 3 last night, and honestly, it was like a big part of breaking the Knicks zone was him camping out in the corner like that. So shout out to Andre Drummond. He was.
I was looking at the worst free throw shooters in NBA history over a season because Mitchell Robinson was on pace for that before last night, where he somehow went 7 for 8 from the line.
And they went to the hack-a-mitch.
They did, and every team should be doing the hack-a-mitch because he's that bad, and it kind of negates his offensive rebounding advantage. But he made them last night. But I was looking at the worst free throw shooters over a season, and Drummond has one of the worst free throw shooting seasons ever.
Yeah,
and that was kind of when he was winning the rebounding titles in those mid to late 2010 years. He's a good free throw shooter now, and he can make threes now all of a sudden. Imagine if he added that back to his game closer to his prime.
Yeah, Stan Van Gundy pointed this out on the broadcast last night. He's currently shooting a higher percentage from 3-point this season than he shot from the free throw line in his rookie season when he was playing for Van Gundy there. Yeah. So pretty nuts, just a little fact there. To bring back to your Embiid question, so I'll start by saying this. The biggest thing that stood out to me from like the handicapping standpoint last night is I was watching the odds for yesterday's game because I was pretty vocal about this was a spot where I'm absolutely playing the Sixers. It was the Knicks on the second half of a back-to-back. I do believe that they were going to straight up win this game. They had a huge rest advantage, the tired legs, all these factors tied into that. The Sixers were 3.5-point underdogs when Joel Embiid was still questionable. They were plus 150 on the money line. When Embiid was ruled out, that moved up to 6.5 and plus 200. Joel Embiid should not mean that much to an odds perspective at this stage.
How have the odds makers not adjusted to think that he's worth 3 points?
Yeah, I was very surprised by that yesterday. I don't think that should be the case straight up anymore.
I think it's worth
a point maybe.
Arguing. I was going to say, like, does it hurt the Sixers?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, that's a conversation that should be had right now. Do you think, is there anything to Embiid's presence on the floor actually hurts the Sixers in their play style when they want to lean on playing really fast and with a really athletic backcourt?
I think you can do both still. Like, this is what I think is to your point about Brunson and playing less heliocentric, like the Sixers absolutely need to do that. And some of that has to come from Joel being willing to do that stuff. And I think there's been progress. Like there's certainly been nights where I haven't felt like he's commanded himself or needed the ball on an every play basis as sort of had become the norm throughout his career. His usage rate is still off the charts. I was just noticing that now that on the season, Embiid is still logging a 34.1% usage rate, which is about the norm for his career there. That is 4th in the league amongst players with like real sample size. I hate how NBA.com does this. Like Curtis Jones is the leader.
Yeah, you got to filter it.
I didn't do the filter today, but
do you think that's a problem?
Yes.
Like Embiid is at the point of his career. And look, when Maxey's out, we've seen what he did the last 2 games where he had 39 the other night.
Which he deserves credit for that.
Absolutely. He's still that talented. But when you're going to kind of warp the way that the Sixers play, when you're not consistently playing, like you don't know if he's going to play for a week stretch, you don't know if he's going to be playing this game, you can't build your system around that. And so I think Embiid, he can have nights like that if Maxey's having an off night or Maxey's out for whatever reason, which Maxey doesn't really miss a lot of games, even though he had that illness the last 2 before last night. Then sure, yeah, go to the Embiid, getting a lot of touches in the mid post and kind of playing through him as a hub. He should be used as a low usage center right now. He just should be. He's still a great screen center. He can be a good roller to the rim. He can make threes at certain times with pick and pop. Like he can do these things, but he should be used as a low usage center. Kind of how I envision the Team USA used him in the Olympics a couple summers ago, where he didn't have a huge offensive role in that team, but he still did his job as a rim protecting kind of and screen setting
pretty
center.
Well defensively.
He did, and he had some really good games. That's how I see Embiid being used more than anything right now, is a low usage center, because you have to start thinking about the post Embiid era, which you already are, because he'll never be the guy that he is. And that's how I think you have to approach Embiid's minutes and his time when he's healthy.
I think they're kind of have strayed in that direction. And for me, like I think it's like option A is you're running and gunning. That you're allowing Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe to get out on the break. You can still do that with Joel Embiid on the floor. He may not be in effect for that play, but they still want to get out there and get moving there. When you settle into the half court, I still think he's very valuable, that you can find shots for him and create things like that. So it's not the easiest balance to juggle, but I kind of think that they have moved on from that to a sense to like the fullest extent that they kind of can there. Were you frustrated that he didn't play last night?
It's a back-to-back, so I expect him to play tonight.
Yes.
And he's never going to play a back-to-back.
Yeah.
So, no, I wasn't frustrated. It's just you see him play 3 games. You're like, wow, it's a miracle this guy played 3 straight games, and he played really well in those last 2 of them without Maxey. Let's make it a 4th straight game. And he just can't. Like, he can't make it a 4th straight game. And with the schedule, it's always going to be these back-to-backs. And we know Embiid for the rest of his career will never play a back-to-back. So as long as he plays tonight, I'm not frustrated. Illness, that seems like a lot of BS to me. I think he's healthy enough to play. It's just, will he play tonight? And then I would be frustrated and disappointed if he didn't play tonight.
Yeah, I agree with that overall. I do wish he played last night. Like, if we were picking one or the other, I would have preferred him suit up for that Knicks game. They obviously got the job done without him, and who knows what a difference he would make if whatever things would have shifted that. I think this was a spot where the Sixers were going to find a way to win last night based on the context of the matchup. I'll throw an Embiid hypothetical at you that I did listen to driving in. I will say the name on the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast there. The Clippers call you. They say Kawhi Leonard for Joel Embiid, and we want our draft pick back. Kawhi Leonard has 2 less years on his contract. They're dealing with very similar issues from an injury outlook. There is the Nick Nurse and Kawhi Leonard. They won the championship in Toronto together on sort of that 1-year all-in. Do you consider that?
I mean, pairing Kawhi Leonard and Paul George together,
Funny.
but back in Philadelphia instead of LA would be hilarious. Yeah, I think I'd do that.
Really?
I'm of the camp, like, anything you can get for Embiid, that's a positive value. I mean, that clip is really valuable. Excuse me, that pick is really valuable from the Clippers in 2029. It is, which is like, they're going to be awful. So that could be like a top 5, 10 pick, certainly. So that's tough. But like, again, Embiid is a negative asset at this point. Anywhere you trade him, you're going to have to attach picks to it because he's a negative asset. And that's where we're at with Embiid. No one wants to take on that contract. I think there's something in the tank with Kawhi Leonard where if he doesn't have to be the guy, and he wouldn't be, he would be a secondary option with Maxey, with Paul George, with VJ Edgecombe. I really think that would take them to a whole nother level. They'd have a pretty big hole at center, the Sixers. I don't think you can go out there in a playoff series with Andre Drummond and Adam Bona as your 2 guys. But I think I would consider it. I think I would. What do you think?
I just don't like dealing with the same nonsense for a guy that there is a little bit less like sweat equity built up of like, Joel, we know the deal.
That's fair.
And like for Kawhi, I would be more frustrated by the Kawhi inner workings than I am by the Joel inner workings currently.
He's more
malleable in the sense that you can just plug him in and play him versus you could argue Joel's more disruptive to like the style of play kind of thing is,
for sure. But I also think he plays more. Like Kawhi plays more than Embiid at this point, especially Kawhi can stay healthy over a longer stretch if he doesn't have to have that big of a role, and he wouldn't with the Sixers. He would be like a really solid wing that would actually match up really well against the Celtics wings and some of the Knicks wings. So he plays more. I mean, he finished last season healthy, which was a remarkable accomplishment.
How many games did he log last year?
I think only 36 or something.
37.
So but he still finished the season healthy. He didn't start the season healthy, but he finished the season healthy. This year, he started the season healthy, and then he got injured for a little bit, but now he's back healthy. Look, Kawhi's regressed heavily. I mean, he's getting to the rim way less. He's settling because he doesn't have the athleticism. His free throws are down. All these stats that kind of indicate whether a guy is getting to the basket, they're all down, because he just doesn't have the athleticism and the burst that he once did. But he's still a really good player. Like, he's still a top 40 player in this league, and I think he's more available than Embiid ever would be.
I'm not doing this deal the more I think about it, and it has more to do with the Clippers pick. That sort of where my mind has shifted to with that is you're now talking about like Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe are the truth, man. That is going to be the best backcourt in the NBA in the not so distant future. That I think both those guys are that level of dudes, and the only team that really has a case against it is the San Antonio Spurs as far as the best backcourt outlook. If you can get a top pick to pair with Dez and them, and it's too early to be doing scouting reports and where that's going to be or whatever, but if you can find like a wing that is like the trio for the future there, this is a long-term contending team.
Yeah, like the Herb Jones, Trey Murphys are out there, but the Pelicans are asking for a lot for those guys. Yeah, I agree. It's just that trade market is tough this year. Again, this Sixers team is really deep.
Yeah.
When they're healthy, and it's a big if because they haven't been healthy all season. But like when Trent Watford's back, Kelly Oubre Jr. was playing great basketball. He's one of the Sixers' best players the first few weeks of the season, and he was shooting the ball really well, which is unlike Kelly Oubre. If he can get back to that level, and it might take a little bit whenever he returns, and Trent Watford comes back, and you get a stretch from Embiid, this team actually is healthy. they're one of the deepest teams in the league, and Nick Nurse can have a lot of rotation questions because can you play 10, 11 deep? Probably not, but they have that many guys who can play when you factor in Dominic Barlow, who I like as a player.
Awesome.
This team is deep. And so I don't know if there's really a trade out there for them to make because they're not in win now mode. Like,
right.
There's no trade out there that'll turn them into one of the favorites in the East.
Yeah, this is an evaluation year for sure. But one rotation decision that I do want to give Nick Nurse his flowers for last night was a little bit of extended Jared McCain for the first time in a while. Now, where that inherently came from was limiting Quentin Grimes, and Grimes finishing with 18 minutes last night. I don't have it in front of me, but that feels like the fewest amount of minutes that he's played in quite a few games to this point. I was hoping for a Quentin Grimes revenge game playing the Knicks, who he obviously started his career with and was traded out of there. Felt like a little bit of sour feelings at the time. Shot 1 of 4 from the field, all 4 of those coming from beyond the arc. Had a pair of turnovers as well. I'm going to have like a high tolerance for Quentin Grimes because he competes incredibly hard every single night. He clearly cares and brings it. But when you get bad Quentin Grimes, which last night certainly fell into that category for me, it's twitchy, it's anxious, it's trying to do too much, and I thought we got that. And I do give Nick Nurse credit for going to Jared McCain, who really brought something to this team. Him finishing with 12 points off the bench, shot 1 of 2 from 3, 4 of 10 from the field, added 3 rebounds and assists there, and it felt like he found himself a little bit. Like there were a couple possessions. There was one where he took Karl Anthony Towns off the dribble where he just missed around the rim there. I loved what I saw from Jared McCain, and it was nice to see Nick Nurse sort of show a little bit of belief still.
The confidence and comfortability is the big thing with Jared McCain right now. Because again, he hadn't played basketball in over a year. He had 2 serious injuries he had to recover from. So those are the big things. As Alex Caruso's on the screen here at Texas A&M for Miami coming up at noon. Jared McCain, the big thing for him was getting his rhythm back.
Quite the travel, by the way, because he played last night in
Minnesota.
They were in
Minnesota, yeah.
down in Texas.
Diehard Aggie guy. I got arrested a couple
him.
times for I think having smoking weed down there, right?
Caruso did?
Yeah, I don't think I'm making that up.
I didn't know that story.
I don't want to get defamation, but yeah, pretty sure he's a great dude though. College station legend.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Jared McCain.
Yes.
He looked comfortable and confident, which is really important. And I liked what we saw from that 3-guard lineup of Jared McCain, VJ Edgecombe, and Tyrese Maxey, who got quite a bit of run. That is such a fast backcourt and 3-guard lineup, however you want to put it. There's teams that aren't going to be able to compete with their speed and athleticism of those 3 guys, even though defensively it's certainly a weak and small point of attack defense, but they were good enough offensively last night where that didn't matter. And so I was impressed with that. I thought Jared McCain looked really well. He obviously shot the ball pretty well. He got to the free throw line a few times. So I was impressed with Jared McCain. I thought it was his best game of the year last night.
Yeah, I loved it. Like a legitimate pop that he brought. Hit a big 3 that was at a huge time in that game right there. So shout out to McCain and shout out to Nick Nurse for really allowing him to take on the opportunity. Now, I think we've brushed over sort of the meat and potatoes of Tyrese Maxey continuing to cement himself as arguably the best guard in the Eastern Conference, going head-to-head with Jalen Brunson last night, having an answer for every big moment. A couple of those threes, pulling up from deep. I love everything about Tyrese, man. It was awesome to see him pick up right where he left off in the early minutes of this game, dropping another cool 30-piece, add 9 assists right there. Are you willing to concede the Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brunson debate just
No,
yet?
I mean, of course not. Of course not. It's about what happens throughout the entire season, their entire history, the last few seasons and into the playoffs. And again, like I always say, there's levels to this, but I don't want to downgrade Maxey at all. Maxey's been terrific, and he is an all-NBA level player right now. What you saw last night was Mikal Bridges was the primary defender on Maxey to start the game and for much of the game.
Cone drills.
And Mikal Bridges is a really good defender, and that's the right formula where you want to put that length that Mikal Bridges has on a guy like Maxey who's a smaller guard. It did not matter even a little bit.
Cone drills.
Tyrese Maxey creates so much space off his step back. It's unbelievable. I mean, he was just playing around Mikal Bridges, getting to whatever spot on the floor he wants. Even when the Knicks sent bodies at him, it didn't matter. His shot-making ability combined with his speed is the best in the entire league. There's nobody in the league who has the combo of shooting / range plus speed. It's just nobody. And he creates so much space on his step backs. He's so quick. When he's racing down the floor, he can come to a complete stop and just drill threes from deep. I mean, he is a range 3-point shooter now.
Yeah.
And so that's what's so impressive. There's no guard in the league who has that combo that he has. And he's gone to a whole nother level. I never thought he'd be the player, but certainly not the shooter, especially off the dribble that he's become.
Yeah, 100% there. And I think I made that point about leveraging thing a couple weeks ago when we were having this same
About
argument.
leveraging what?
His threat of the drive with the shot right there. Because you're absolutely right. Like, he sort of created an identity when he came in the league for that pace, that ability
It was always
to get
super
downhill.
fast, but it was like he wasn't a great shooter back in the day.
But when he is that level of speed, you're constantly afraid of this guy can blow right by me. And then you have to give that level of respect. And he can just shoot it over absolutely anyone right there. It is an absolutely electric combo and one that is one of the most unguardable in the entire NBA. So
you really just don't see the space he created on Mikal Bridges. Like, you watch a lot of Knicks games and you just don't see guys get that space off because he's so long. He's a better screen navigator than he was last year.
Yeah.
And he's great at staying in front of guys. He's a great defender, Mikal Bridges. You don't see guys create the space that Maxey did on all those step backs. It was like he was on a different universe than him.
And it's like the snap of the fingers of it looks like he's about to get downhill, blow by, and then all of a sudden he's like 3 feet behind you. It's nuts the way that he does do it. It's that little tween snatch that he does have, and it works every single time. Once he gets that step, it's over, and that happened a ton last night with Bridges, who, you're right, is absolutely a high quality defender, one of the better in the league in that conversation. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I do think this was a meaningful win by the Sixers. I understand the context does matter. This is the situation right here. But I think this team needs to start seeing we can get some real deal wins. We can beat some good teams. And I thought last night was an example of that. I think last night was a victory that inspires some belief inside the walls of the locker room. You think that's fair?
Absolutely. That's regardless of the context of the game, which we've talked about a lot, how tired the Knicks were and their schedule this past week.
Excuses.
But they're valid. I mean, sometimes excuses are valid. They're reasons. I don't like to call them excuses when I'm making them for other people. They're reasons. They're valid, but they're also, when you're from the Sixers perspective, you're not looking at it like that. You don't care about that. You just beat the favorites in the East, one of the best teams in the league. And that's a confidence building win that you can compete with these guys. And the Sixers haven't had a lot of wins over some of the best teams in the league this year. So I think that's important. And like we talked about earlier, the third quarter.
Yeah.
The third quarter was great. They've been so bad, the worst team in the league in the third quarter, to kind of come out and play as aggressively and strong as they did in the third quarter is super important for their future third quarter prospects, where that's where all their games, I mean, they've played 18 clutch games, I believe it is. And it feels like their games follow the same script. It's around even at halftime. Doesn't matter if they're playing a bad team, great team. It's around even at halftime. They go down big in the third quarter and have a huge comeback in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And ends up being a close game. And they've been solid in clutch games. Nothing special, but pretty good. But it's the same script every game. If they can avoid those third quarter collapses, which they did last night, they'll have a much better chance of just racing away with it in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I do hope this is a step towards that trend ultimately breaking, because it doesn't make any sense to me why that continues to happen. I don't get it. It's one of the just stranger trends that I've seen. Hopefully that is the end of things right there. Did want to ask a couple quick questions about the late game. I know you were locked in for Thunder T-Wolves as well. Awesome performance from Anthony Edwards, beating the defending champs, hitting the third loss of the season to the Oklahoma City Thunder. So all of a sudden, we're getting a little bit close to our break the record prediction here. That is now 3 losses that they have tallied. Chris Finch getting run out of that game 6 minutes into the matchup, coming out flying. Now, he's been a guy that's been very critical of this Oklahoma City Thunder team and more or less how they're refereed. Dating back to last year, he had some pretty pointed quotes. What were your thoughts on him being that fired up that early?
I think it was great for the team. I think he knew what he was doing. That was not an accident. He's
a cool, calm, and collected guy generally.
The broadcast was as clear as day with the exact words that we can't even say on air right now that he said to the officials. But he knew what he was doing. He was firing his team up. He was getting his teams back, because that's been the story of these two teams when they play, and really when the Thunder play a lot of teams. And I get other people's, talk about excuses that the Timberwolves might be making, and the Timberwolves are a worse team, so they need everything to go their way to even compete with the Thunder. But I understand them being frustrated with the fouls that the Thunder get away with. And that one play that he got super frustrated on was the most obvious foul I think I've seen in the NBA all season. I mean, Julius Randle was smacked across his hand as he was going up for it, and he even got the offensive rebound off a shot off the backboard from Anthony Edwards, where I thought he might have been bumped a little bit too. So there's 2 fouls on the play that weren't called, and the Thunder do get away with fouling. I mean, they play on a really aggressive style of defense, which is good. That's why they lead the league in turnovers. but they also get away with fouling a lot. So if I'm an opposing team, I'm going to the ref, like, watch these guys bump our guys. Watch these guys smack our guys every single play, and you're just not calling it because, oh, they play aggressive. But a lot of time it's fouling. So I get the Timberwolves' frustration. I get Chris Finch's frustration, but I think that was a message to his team. Like, this guy has our back. This guy is going to the roof, to the moon. I mean, he exploded. I haven't seen a coach explode like that in a long time. To kind of protect his team and let the officials know that you're not calling this game right. What you're doing is wrong. And from there on, I'm going to be honest, it was a pretty physical game. There was not a lot that was called, but they were letting both teams play. And the Timberwolves ultimately got it done. This is a Timberwolves team that has not been great in the clutch. They've lost some huge games late in games, just collapsing. But this was a night where Anthony Edwards stepped up. He had a huge clutch three, and the Timberwolves walk away with one.
Yeah, 100% there. And I think this is true of individual defenders and definitely teams as well, that when you build that reputation of this is a good defender, you have like a higher tolerance for what you get away with. And the Thunder have subscribed to the theory if we're going to foul you a ton of times, they're not going to get every single one of them. And it's worked out for them.
And that was a huge frustration in the Nuggets Thunder series, where Alex Caruso was guarding Nikola Jokic. And it's like, oh, Alex Caruso is a physical defender, and he's an aggressive defender, and he's much smaller, so smaller guys are supposed to get away with these fouls against bigger guys. That's not how it works. If you're a big guy, small guy, you're still going to foul. Maybe it's he's smaller, so you can get away with more. The refs won't see as much. It's still a foul, though. And that's something the Nuggets were really frustrated by. And the Thunder are a great team without all that, but they certainly benefit from a great whistle. And I think that's where a lot of teams are frustrated about. And then the Timberwolves kind of just let it be known.
Yeah, 100%. You're 1,000% right about this. Was designed to fire up his team, that I have your back. And again, Chris Finch, generally a pretty like cool, calm, and collected guy, that he's not really explosive on the sidelines. This isn't a guy that it's like throwing his hat, Joe Mazzulla getting all fired up on like a regular basis like this.
Nick Nurse. Talk about a guy that berates refs.
I love it,
Nick Nurse berates refs.
I appreciate it, though.
Like, but if I'm a ref, and look, officiating has been a huge thing over the last couple of weeks. It's kind of been one of the topics of the NBA because of how bad it's been. Coaches kind of being just brash with the officials and calling them unobjective, saying they're starstruck. Yeah. I mean, just a lot's going on there. But Nick Nurse, if I'm an official and a guy is constantly annoying me and I know I'm assigned to his game tonight, I'm going to be more inclined just subconsciously to not call stuff in their favor, whether that's purposeful or not. But this guy's going to be annoying me. I don't like this guy. So I like Nick Nurse is wild with the officials. But as a coach, like, you got to chill a little bit because you're not going to benefit from more calls if you're berating the refs as much.
Yeah, I think that's true. I also think like I appreciate staying on a ref of like, watch the hands there, and then all of a sudden
Nurse is excessive.
Yes, but I for me, if I'm a player, I want a coach like that. I want him to want to win as bad as Nick Nurse shows that he does. Like,
well, do you remember the Raptors series back in 2019? Sixers Raptors.
Oh, I remember it. Yes.
But well, of course, but specifically, Embiid was hating on Nick Nurse.
Him and Embiid had like legit beef before he came.
Embiid was saying to him like, "Shut up, stop
fouling."
Yeah, stop whatever to the refs.
Yeah.
So it was kind of interesting that Nick Nurse became Embiid's coach, and then you want him to argue on your behalf. But if you're an opposing team, I get why you would be pissed.
Joel like got in Nurse's face like several times before he was his head coach, which was there was like a little Raptors-Sixers rivalry back in the day, which I love, because Nurse was the guy. He was the first guy to really lean into the Embiid defense of throw a smaller guy, throw multiple bodies at him.
A lot of zone they played that year.
Yeah, like he perfected that more than most teams that we've saw, which was what intrigued me about. Let's bring him to the Sixers.
That's part of the reason why Morey was interested in hiring.
Yeah, I think 100% there. To keep it on the Sixers, back in action against the Dallas Mavericks tonight. I did look, they are a 2.5-point favorite, I believe. Think they get another victory here?
Mavs have been playing really well.
They have.
I really like this Mavs team. Cooper Flagg has been awesome this month in December, and he's benefited from playing alongside Anthony Davis, and he's finally getting off the ball more where his catches are coming off the catch or in spot-up positions, and he's just attacking. He's not shooting near as many threes, which is good because he's not having good three-point shooting year. He can get to the rim, finish around the rim. He's a great floater package. His mid-range, when he operates in the mid-range, he is phenomenal. Great footwork. So I've been really impressed with Cooper Flagg. Paired with Anthony Davis, Ryan Nembhard is playing really well, and so you can get the ball out of Cooper Flagg's hands more. I kind of lean that this is a Mavs win, just because Sixers on a back-to-back. If Embiid plays, we'll see how that factors in, but it's hard to. I mean, it's not like New York is a far trip; it's an Amtrak ride away. But you go from New York last night to Philadelphia tonight, back to back. I kind of lean the Mavs here.
I don't think we got to worry about these guys taking the Amtrak back from New York last night.
What do you think they take? What do they take?
I'm going to guess a nice bus.
The Eagles take Amtrak when they play the Giants.
Really?
And the Commanders.
I didn't know that.
There's been those clips out there of them like loading up the Amtrak trains.
Wow. All right. I was
they
unaware.
obviously have a private train. They're not like
sure.
I don't know what the Sixers take. You're probably right. It's a bus.
I'm thinking, I'm thinking some sort of like nice style bus, but nonetheless, I'm riding with the Sixers regardless. And I also want to make the point, Ryan Nembhard has been here the whole time. Did Jason Kidd just not play him with the intent of getting Nico Harrison fired? Because I sort of refuse to believe
that's a good conspiracy.
Yeah, like Jason Kidd, who's one of the better point guards of all time, would just undervalue the point guard position like that. I think this was strategic.
Yeah, it's credit to Jason Kidd if he did that, because I would lose a bunch of games early to get Nico Harrison fired too and move on from that. But Ryan Nembhard was also an undrafted free agent. He's a rookie, so it's like you don't want to just throw this guy right into the fire. You want to have him develop, watch a few games, practice more, get some more practice reps, learn the playbook, all that stuff. So I can get why he wouldn't play him early on in the season. Undrafted rookies usually don't just get thrown into the fire in their first year. But you're right. He's been great.
Yeah, 100% there. So we'll see what happens with that. Joel Embiid should absolutely play tonight. I will have my eye on that. I will have a little bit of frustration. This could be like the annual tradition of his immune system just failing him, because that tends to happen with Joel as well.
A lot of immune systems are failing a lot of people right now.
Yeah.
I think that's what Maxey had last week. I know 10 plus people with the flu right now. So it's not the craziest thing in the world for him to be sick, but still.
Yeah, sickness in the air. He was at shoot around yesterday, which does give me a little bit of encouragement, but we'll see how he woke up today and how things do break down. Me and Sam are going to take a quick break on this side of things right here. On the other side, we're going to be talking some football, get things back to the pigskin a little bit. The Eagles in action tonight, the college football playoffs, a whole lot to hit on right there. So make sure you keep it locked right here on Fox Sports The Gambler, Pig Swap Media, or wherever else you are listening. Be right back on the other side.
10 athletes will face the toughest job interview in fitness that will push past physical and mental breaking points. You are the fittest of the fit. Only one of you will leave here with an iFit contract for $250,000.
This is when mindset comes in.
Someone will be eliminated.
Pressure is coming down.
Trainer Games on Prime Video January 8th. Watch the trailer on trainergames.com.
Get your mother-loving ears on, because your big-time radio DJ's got news. PayPal lets you choose how you want to pay for all the stuff. With PayPal, I can pay in-store, pay online, or pay over time. What's that? You want this translated into song? I hope you're sitting down. You can pay your own way. You keep those ears on, you hear? Don't just pay, baby. PayPal.
Learn more at paypal.com.
Make your home the coziest place to gather with winter deals at Ashley.
That means when you shop for gifts at Simon Malls and premium outlets, including King of Prussia, Philadelphia Premium Outlets, or on shopsimon.com, you'll get cash back at your favorite stores, access to exclusive offers, and exciting surprises. Join today at simonplus.com. Participation and benefits subject to rewards program terms. See simonplus.com for details.
Around the holidays, it's hard to find the right gifts, but you know what's even harder? Getting the right gift. And Verizon is here to help. This holiday, Verizon's giving you incredible gifts and savings you'll enjoy all year. When you switch, you'll get 4 new iPhone 17s. No trade-in needed. Save big on 4 lines and the iPhone 17 for every line. Save big this holiday. Visit Verizon today. Additional terms apply. For phone offers, see Verizon.com for details.
This isn't just a game, it's a once-in-a-generation event. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour. Be there at Liacouras Center on February 19th. Go to HarlemGlobetrotters.com for your tickets to the 100-year tour.
Stuck in a job that just isn't getting it done? Maybe it's time to go for IT. Whether you're just starting out, switching careers, or a military veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you launch a rewarding career in IT in months. No prior experience needed. Why spend years getting a traditional degree when your future in IT can start right now? Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Your most powerful upgrade? Your career. Go for it. Go for IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Audible's romance collection has something to satisfy every side of you. Fall for a brooding duke, dive into a steamy romantasy series from Sarah J. Maas, or find the perfect rom-com from Lily Chu. Start listening free when you sign up for a 30-day trial at audible.com.
If you can wager on it, we're talking about it. It's The Gambler.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get your mother-loving ears on because your big-time radio DJ's got news. PayPal lets you choose how you want to pay for all the stuff. With PayPal, I can pay in-store, pay online, or pay over time. What's that? You want this translated into song? I hope you're sitting down. You can pay your own way. You keep those ears on, you hear? Don't just pay, baby. PayPal.
Learn more at paypal.com.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu, medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Roxy Romeo with attorney Big Al, Jason Fine. The holiday season is here, which of course means delivery drivers, warehouse crews, they are going harder than Santa's elves.
And yeah, you're right. And that means more injuries, more work injuries, falls, motor vehicle cases while you're working, lifting too much, you name it.
And listen, if you get hurt on the job, do not let these companies push you around.
Yeah, that's right. The workers have rights. If you're injured in the courses of employment, notify your employer. Call me, 1-800-HURT-123.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Ultra, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Ultra helps Mike fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs, so he can wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is Alfred Williams. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Lowe's.
The Eagles visit the Commanders tomorrow. They can clinch the NFC East with a win. Defensive tackle Jalen Carter, offensive lineman Lane Johnson are ruled out with injuries. The Sixers are back on the court tonight against the Knicks. On the ice yesterday, the Flyers fell to the Sabres. Villanova Hoops visit Wisconsin tonight. The first round of the college football playoff kicks off tonight. Oklahoma hosts Alabama from Norman. I'm Seth Everett.
Stay home and save big online during Lowe's December deal drops. All rewards members get free standard shipping. Shop Lowe's.com December deal drops today. Not available in Alaska or Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Details at Lowe's.com/shipping terms subject to change.
Thanks to you, thousands of teachers now have the tools they need to thrive, and their students do too.
Oh my gosh, yes! To receive the nomination, beyond words. Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
We really appreciate it.
That is so exciting.
iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose, building brighter futures one classroom at a time.
I'm certain it's going to be well spent. It takes a lot of tools to make our program run.
And we're just getting started. Help keep the momentum going and nominate a teacher who's made a difference in your life at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler, an iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human. Your weekend sports edge starts here. This is Sean Barnard live on Fox Sports The Gambler.
And welcome back to the second hour right here on Sean Barnard Live, the Pace and Space podcast, coming to you from Fox Sports The Gambler, Pick Swap Media, on socials, everywhere that you are listening at. So appreciate you guys for hanging with us today. Talked a lot of NBA, talked a lot of Sixers in the early parts of this. We got to turn things over to some football conversation right here. The college football playoff in full swing. The NFL playoffs not far behind in some big matchups, including our Philadelphia Eagles today. So I want to lead into this conversation, talk some college football. Now, Sam Oshtry, I don't think you and I are either the biggest college football guys in the world here. But did you have any concrete takes you need to get off your chest for this college football playoff alignment? I know the takes have been flying. Things already off swinging. People fired up about Alabama and everything in between. How did you feel about how the actual bracket did shake out?
It feels like this is how the discourse has gone since the college football playoff has been announced.
And unfortunately, I think we'll continue to go.
Yes, but at least the games are being played now, so we can talk about actual games. But it feels like it's been like a lot of the people, the big names in college football media, like the Nick Sabans, the Kirk Herbstreits, the Joel Klatts, have been killing the group of five and saying they don't deserve submission or admission into the college football playoff. And then the kind of other crop, the next level of crop of sports media, college football people have been defending the group of five, saying of course they deserve the right to be there. Like, why would we have this monopoly in college football where only the major conferences deserve the right? And I land somewhere more in the middle, but to be honest with you, I agree with the people saying, why is the group of five represented? Because maybe one team has some historic years. Yeah, sure. JMU is a 21.5 point underdog to Oregon. Tulane is a 17.5 point underdog to Ole Miss.
Without their head coach.
Last year, who was it? Boise State?
Yeah.
Boise State got killed.
Yeah.
These group of five teams are not able to compete with major conferences. And now what you have in college athletics is the gap between major conferences and lower level conferences. The talent discrepancy is as wide as it's ever been. And that's because of NIL.
Right.
The reality of the situation is these major conferences, like a school like Oregon, their backups are getting paid more than JMU's stars. And that exists in college basketball too. So when your backups at Oregon are as good as JMU's stars, the discrepancy in talent is going to be ridiculous, and these teams aren't going to be able to compete. So I don't want to watch 4 touchdown score games. Last night was awesome. You had Alabama, Oklahoma, 2 heavyweights match up, and we had a great game. And Oklahoma was up 17. Alabama comes back, ends up winning it. I want to see more of those in the college football playoffs. So yeah, the stories are great in the regular season. And if you have some historic team that goes undefeated in the group of 5, put them in. It should not be an automatic admission for the group of 5. And I just don't want to see these group of 5 teams get killed in the college football playoff.
Yeah, I mostly agree with that. I do think it's 100% fair to assess. Like, these group of 5 teams have no chance of winning the national championship.
None.
With that said, like, I still kind of subscribe to the theory of they do have a right to have a ticket to the dance, to give yourself an opportunity. And I am rooting for both Tulane and JMU today. I would love nothing more than to see an upset to just rattle the way that we talk about this and the way that we view things moving forward. I don't feel that that's going to happen, to be honest. I don't have confidence that will be the case from either direction. I mean, Ole Miss just absolutely smacked Tulane already in the regular season. We've already seen this game be played this year. JMU, where I kind of draw the line on the conversation is I'm seeing people make like the safety argument of like it's a risk for these guys to play each other because of the gap in talent.
Well, that's ridiculous. I haven't seen that.
There was like
that's
a pretty
absurd. I haven't seen any of that.
Drawing a blank on the guy's name, but a pretty prominent college football analyst was making that argument, like showing clips of like a hard Oregon tackle compared to like the size and all these things.
That's a take.
Yeah, I'm not going down that line. It's still football here, fellas. So they do have to play for a reason here.
Another take that has been produced was, you see what Joel Klatt said this week?
Was that the AAA line?
No, that was Nick Saban.
Okay.
But which there's some validity to that. What Joel Klatt said was that about March Madness. Did you see that?
No, but
this was the most viral take out there this week. Oh my God, this is the hottest take I think I've ever heard. I'll repeat it for you. Joel Klatt said that March Madness is a joke. And he
that's crazy.
And he just said it's an unfair tournament and it's a joke and it's a clown show and all this.
It's the best sporting event.
Any thoughts? I actually, here's what I'll say about that. Obviously, March Madness is incredible. It's so much fun to watch.
Best sporting event,
we love
period.
it. It's the best sporting event there is. It's great. His point, I think he apologized kind of.
I saw the backtrack.
Yeah, his point was that March Madness doesn't actually produce the ultimate champion, because it's a one-game sample size. There's no home games, all neutral sites, which is true. When you're talking about any sport in terms of their playoff bracket, March Madness in college basketball is the most unfair playoff bracket for
most
producing.
Random.
Yeah, there's the biggest variety and all that for producing the ultimate champion. That's true. But to say it's a joke and a clown show isn't true, because it's also the most fun.
Yes.
That randomness makes it so much fun.
Yeah, and that's sports. Like anything can happen in every given sports game, which is why sports is the best, man. Like
exactly.
JMU could dog walk Oregon today. That could happen. Like that is not impossible. Do I think it's going to be? Probably not.
You want to hear a take?
Hit me.
March Madness, as we know it, is dead.
Because of NIL?
It's not a joke. I'll always love March Madness, but because of NIL. March Madness, as we know it, is dead. We saw last year's all the favorites advance.
Yeah.
What was it, like the first time in a long time that we saw almost all top seeds were there, and there weren't a lot of double-digit Cinderella story underdogs? And that's because what I just talked about with the NIL, where an 8th, 9th man on a college basketball roster for a high major program is getting so much more money, like hundreds of thousands of more money than they would being the star of a mid-major program. So the talent gap is becoming wider and wider, and it's going to be harder for Cinderella teams to make this run. Yeah, sure, there'll be one 13 seed that can beat a 4 seed in one game, but can that 13 seed make a run all the way to the Elite 8 like we've seen in the past, or a 12 seed? I don't think so. And I think March Madness, as we know it, where Cinderellas are what make March Madness what it is, it's dying. It just is.
I think you're right on that. I think there'll be a couple outliers that still give us that spark again. But like the advantage that some of like the mid-major team has is they kept the core together, that they were able to play together for a couple years. And then you have this chemistry, you know how to play all these things. And all of a sudden, those guys are getting handpicked by the bigger programs. Like the clear example that pops to mind right now is UAB last year. Yaxel Lendenborg, who was awesome, incredible. He should have been a first-round pick and probably would have been if he stuck in the draft. He elected to go back to college, went to Michigan, who's now going to win the national championship this year. You can put that on record right now because Michigan is an absolute wagon.
They're unbelievable.
That they're going to win the national championship, I feel. But nonetheless, like that's a perfect example of that's a guy who like started in JUCO, really worked his way up, played with a team for a couple seasons, rather than sticking with that core and having another go at it or going to the NBA. He just gets handpicked by a major program. But we're seeing more and more of that. Kadir Copeland, another one who he was dominant at McNeese, and then he just got handpicked going to a major program himself. So it's kind of like the Cinderella stories have turned into feeder programs for the top teams, which isn't exactly how I like it to be, but that is NIL. That's the world we're living in.
It's also the transfer portal and the rule changes where a few years ago, if you were going to transfer, you had to sit out.
Yeah.
So nobody wanted to transfer because you're wasting a year of not playing. But now it's you're right that those cores and mid-majors aren't intact. If a guy has a great year, they're going to get poached by a high major, and you can't blame them for leaving. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, the difference that they're getting paid. So why would everybody would take that opportunity to go leave? And these guys, most of them aren't playing in the NBA. So that's like absurd amount of money that they're going to be making that they'll really won't have an opportunity to make playing basketball, certainly, or in anything in life. So you can't blame them, but it's just sad because these mid-major programs can't compete as much with the high majors anymore. And I don't have the number in front of me, but even this year in non-conference play, I saw somewhere, it was late November, early December, I was looking at it, that the winning percentage for high majors against mid-majors in non-conference play this season was as high as it's been in like 20-something years. And that's kind of sad. And it's not that it's college basketball and March Madness will die, but how we know it and what we loved about March Madness in that tournament, that's dying.
That's sad. I hadn't really thought about it like that until right now.
Just all this conversation about the group of 5 in college football made me think about it.
Yeah, no, I do think that's a very good point that you're right about there. I guess to transition back to on the field here as the games do begin to take place. Miami and Texas A&M beginning to kick off. This is the only game today that I have a real passionate take about. I think Miami rolls. Maybe not rolls, but I do think they get the outright win. I think Carson Beck has been in a million big games in his collegiate career. I don't love what Marcel Reed has looked like in recent weeks. I think he's shown a little bit of flaws there. I like rolling with the U. Give me Miami to win.
I like Miami too. I think the matchup in this game is Miami's offensive line against Texas A&M's defensive line.
Okay.
Miami's offensive line is really good. They're filled with NFL players, but Texas A&M's defensive line has been unbelievable. It's the strongest unit on their team. I think Texas A&M's a little bit overrated.
I like it.
When you really look at their schedule, it's like, yeah, they have a win over Notre Dame, but also Miami has a win over Notre Dame. They didn't play a great SEC schedule. And yeah, it's SEC, but their biggest win was like LSU, Missouri. When those two teams were ranked in the middle of the year, they didn't play any other ranked teams in the SEC until they got to Texas last game of the season, and Texas killed them, a team that's not even in the college football playoff. So I think this Texas A&M team's overrated. They also don't turn the ball over. Really, the death of Miami and their 2 losses was turnovers, and Texas A&M doesn't force turnovers. So I think Miami has the advantage there. Last point, Texas A&M, both their offensive and defensive coordinator accepted jobs at different programs, one for a head coach, one for another defensive coordinator position. They're staying on to coach this bowl game that's about to kick off. As much as people can say they're focused on this, they can't be. They're focused on recruiting and building staffs for their new programs. So it's hard to kind of balance those two things, and that always has me a little weary when coaches are leaving, but still coaching the bowl games and their playoff run. So a lot of signs are pointing to Miami for me, where I'm with you. I think they can win this game outright.
Yeah, I absolutely hate that that's like the timeline for things too.
Sucks.
And that's in basketball too. Like the Kevin Willard situation last year, that was such a bummer the way that went down. And he's, by the way, doing a bang up job at Villanova right now, who've turned things around in a pretty significant fashion. But like, it just waters down. Like, this is the moment you build for. This is what the peak of your season should be. And all of the conversations are about moving on to the next job. And that's college needs to get that together as well, the timeline of things. But as far as last night's game, so Oklahoma and Alabama, you sort of touched on it, that Oklahoma jumping up to a big lead, Alabama scrapping back in, finding a way to get the victory there. There was a lot of critiques about Alabama even being in this college football playoffs. What was your takeaways from last night? Do you view them as a legitimate threat?
There was a lot of skepticism going into that Bama game about their offense, because Ty Simpson was a Heisman contender through the first half of the year. And then he really fell off, and the entire Bama's offense fell off. They don't really have much of a running game, but they operate with Ty Simpson playing under center, relying on the pass. And he just wasn't good down the stretch of the season. They lost to Oklahoma in mid-November. They got killed by Georgia in the SEC championship. They almost lost to Auburn in that Iron Bowl, and that's a really bad Auburn team that they only beat by a touchdown. So there were a lot of concerns about Alabama's offense. But and to start that game, they go down 17-0, and those concerns start to become even louder. Like, this was the Alabama offense that we saw the last month of the season. And then they completely turn it around. Ty Simpson gets into a rhythm. He starts delivering dots down the field, and Alabama was just a better team. Oklahoma's offense wasn't good enough all season, and it was like if Alabama could score 30 points, Oklahoma was never going to be able to keep pace, and that's kind of what happened. And that Alabama team looks like a contender last night. If their offense can play like that, their passing game, and Ty Simpson is playing in rhythm and as accurate as he was in the really second through fourth quarter last night, and Alabama's defense is getting to the quarterback, John Mateer, this is an Alabama team that is a 7-point dog against Indiana in the quarterfinals. They could win that game outright. So I was really impressed with Alabama last night.
Wow, I respect it. I think Indiana is – I like Indiana a lot, man.
7 points? Were you surprised by that line?
No,
I guess Indiana's just dominated everybody. Right?
I thought there was a chance it was even going to be higher, to be perfectly honest. That I wouldn't have minded like a hook, a 7.5, an 8 or a 9 wouldn't have absolutely shocked me like that. So I honestly, it was a bit lower than I would have guessed with the opening spread. I do think Indiana is an absolute wagon this year, and we'll see if that ultimately comes to light here. If you had to pick out of JMU and Tulane, who has a better chance at actually creating a little bit of an upset?
I think Tulane.
Okay. Ole Miss Lane Kiffin situation?
Partly.
Mhm.
The thing is, though, everyone's talking about Ole Miss's coaching departure. Lane Kiffin's gone, but their offensive staff is still going to be coaching the game, even if a few of those guys are taking the LSU job. But nobody's talking about the coaching situation going on in Tulane, where John Summerall is accepted the head coaching job at Florida.
He's done it
staying
on as nice of possible
I
terms
agree.
as can
I
be
mean,
done.
Yeah, and when you're leaving a school like Tulane for Florida, nobody's going to fault you.
Yeah.
And look, he's donated to Tulane because he
the
wants to see
NIL.
them successful. But at the same time, it's what we were just talking about. You can't be recruiting and building a staff in Florida and have your full focus possibly on prepping for a playoff game. So we saw this game play out before. Ole Miss won 45-10 over Tulane. I just think Tulane is so much better, and the gap is smaller between them and Ole Miss than it is between Oregon and JMU.
Yeah, and that is as contrasting styles for leaving an organization as you will see with Lane Kiffin doing Lane Kiffin things, sneaking out the back door, making sure that he does pave his way there, and then not just like the NIL fund. The coach speaking about how I want Tulane to be a better program when I visit a couple years from now. Like stuff like that, I give a ton of respect for. Very cool that that's how things did.
What do you think? Which, if you had to pick one upset, who would you pick?
I think Oregon is that good. I like this JMU football team a lot better. I guess Tulane, just based on the context of the matchup here, that I think that team's going to show up. I also did hear through the grapevine a little bit that the Ole Miss players have a dartboard in the locker room right now with Lane Kiffin's face on it.
Really?
Yes. So I don't know if that fires it up. This could be like a if we band against this guy kind of vibe.
I see them coming together because of the Lane Kiffin departure for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll go Tulane is the answer, but I will be rooting pretty heavily for JMU. Will not be betting on them or believing in them with the pockets there, but I do hope that they do get the job done.
I think Oregon's the better bet. I could see Oregon winning this game by 100.
Yeah, I could as well.
I can't. Dan Lanning may be the best coach in the entire country. I can't ever see a Dan Lanning Oregon team being upset. He just is so great at preparing his team, firing them up, getting them ready for every game, whether it's a lower level opponent or a big game. Yeah, they're going to lose games against other great teams, which we've seen over the last couple of years. I can't ever see them being upset because Dan Lanning just does a great job of preparing them. So, and they're going to treat this game like it's their Super Bowl because it's do or die at this point, and they have to. I don't see any scenario where JMU can compete.
Yeah, I don't really either. I would like to see a spark. I'd like to see them show something, but we'll see how that shakes out. Do you have a national championship pick before we shift gears to the NFL and talk some Eagles?
I think it's Georgia right now.
Okay. Wow.
Look, Ohio State and Indiana are both really good, and they're the two favorites for good reason. If either of them win it wouldn't shock me. But Georgia's been really impressive to me. Gunnar Stockton has been awesome. He is a gunslinger. And Georgia's defense, which started out the year not playing great, they've come back into their own. This isn't like some super talented defense where NFL prospects are all over the field, but they've been playing collective defense and holding opponents to limited points and yards over the last few weeks. And we saw that in the SEC championship against Alabama, where they were awesome. And I like this offense. It's not the most balanced offense. They rely on the pass more than they do the run. But Gunnar Stockton is playing as well as he has been, you can get the run game going. And I think this Georgia team is just really talented. They're playing really good down the stretch. I think they could make a championship run and win the whole thing.
Yeah, third best odds. I'm seeing plus 500 right now. My choice would be Indiana, which is sort of a layup pick.
What are they right now?
The plus 290 for Indiana. Ohio State, the favorite at plus 210. That Ohio State defense is the real deal by every single definition. And obviously the defending national champion, so you can see the pathway. If I'm going to take a little bit of a flyer, I don't mind the plus 900 for Oregon, that I do think that they have a chance at it. And also Miami at plus 2,500.
Whoa.
I mean,
that's a crazy one.
If they win this game, I think they have a chance. I'm not.
It's just Miami. They're always gonna do something to get in the way of themselves.
Carson Beck's played a lot of big games, man, and I know that. And I also didn't not want to miss the point. When your name is Gunnar Stockton, you're basically born to be a Georgia quarterback, man. That's as clear and concise it gets. So yeah, my actual pick would be Indiana, but did want to throw a couple of those out there.
Bama at? I could see Bama making a little run.
Bama at plus 2,000, so slightly higher. A&M at plus 2,200, so not a ton of belief in either of these teams. I think probably rightfully so in that. But we'll see how things do shake out. They're kicking off over here. Quick note, I did not appreciate the field goal line being on for the opening drive of the game. Why are we showing where they need to get into field goal range here? There's 11 minutes left in the first quarter, but Nonetheless, we'll take a quick break from the college football conversation. On the other side, me and Sam Oshtry do have to dive into this Eagles versus Commanders game today. Throwing me off, a little Saturday at 5 o'clock matchup, not exactly in the flow of the schedule, but we're going to talk about all things, what we expect and everything else. So keep it locked. We'll be back in a quick 3-minute break.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Stay home and save big online during Lowe's December deal drops. All rewards members get free standard shipping. Shop Lowe's.com December deal drops today. Not available in Alaska or Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at Lowe's.com/shipping terms. Subject to change.
iHeart Radio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. When dining out or shopping at the grocery store, ask for sustainable seafood. By choosing sustainable seafood, you can help reduce overfishing, bycatch, loss of top predators, illegal fishing, and other harmful environmental impacts. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Let's live more. Whether your dream vacation is about doing it all or nothing at all, you'll find what you love with Norwegian Cruise Line. Be charmed by historic European cities, wowed by the wild sights of Alaska, or calmed by serene beaches in the Caribbean. Wherever you go next, feel free to experience more with Norwegian. Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor, or 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. Norwegian Cruise Line. Ships registry the Bahamas and USA. Let's live more.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/fast. That's ethos.com/fast.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Guys, thanks for helping me carry my Christmas tree.
Zoe, this thing weighs a ton.
Drewski, lift with your legs, man.
Santa! Did you get my letter?
He's talking to you, Bridges.
I'm not that.
Of course he did, right, Santa?
You know, my elf Drewski here, he handles the nice list.
An elf? I'm 6'3". What everyone wants is iPhone 17. And at T-Mobile, you can get it on them. That center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies. Right, Mrs. Claus?
I'm Mrs. Claus's much younger sister. And at T-Mobile, there's no trade-in needed when you switch. So you can keep your old phone.
Or give it as a gift.
And the best part, you can make the switch to T-Mobile from your phone in just 15 minutes.
Guys, my side of the tree is slipping.
Timber!
The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Switch in just 15 minutes and get iPhone 17 on us with no trade-in needed.
With 24 monthly bill credits for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Finance agreement 256 gigs, $830. Eligible port in a new line. $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Check out in 15 minutes or less per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
After I came home from Iraq, I could still hear the booms. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
Thanks to DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
The Gambler. Philly's home for all things sports gambling. Your weekend sports edge starts here. This is Sean Barnard live on Fox Sports The Gambler.
And welcome back for the final stretch right here on Sean Barnard Live, the Pace and Space podcast, here with my guy Sam Oshtry. We're coming in for a landing, talking all things Eagles football and NFL as we close down shop here. Hit on a bunch of Sixers, a bunch of NBA, talk some college football, the previous half of things, but do want to talk about the Eagles versus Commanders today. An NFC East battle that we do have. Obviously, the vibes are a little bit low in the world of the Eagles right now. They did pick up a victory over a really bad Raiders team last week.
Putting it lightly.
Yeah, throwing for 60 yards or whatever it was. Shout out to Two Gloves Kenny right there. But nonetheless, I did want to swing the question for today. Do style points matter today? Is this a keep the main thing, get a win? Or would you like to see the Eagles absolutely lay it on thick against the Commanders?
Keep the main thing. We're just quoting Jalen Hurts out here.
Damn right.
I think style points matter. I mean, they should just kill this team.
Yes.
There's not much they could have done the last 2 weeks, meaning the Raiders game and this week, that'll convince the Eagles, convince fans that this team is a Super Bowl contender, because these are two really bad teams.
Yep.
But I think style points matter in the sense that they have to kill this team and get back in a rhythm offensively. And look, this defense has been phenomenal. The only really bad game they've had is when the Bears rushed all over them. But in the last 6 weeks, there's an argument to me that's been the best defense in the entire league. This is certainly a Super Bowl caliber defense. It's offensively where the concerns are. And so last game, I thought Jalen Hurts played really well. They were under center more. I think those are the things you want to see again this week, where let's feed Saquon Barkley, let him and the offensive line get their confidence back, let Jalen Hurts rip it in the pocket, play turnover-free football, have him under center more, maybe design some more quarterback draws, some more running opportunities for him. These are opportunities in these games against bad teams where you just want to get everything, kind of get back on the right track offensively and work on some things that you haven't been doing super well this season. And that's what's so important heading into next week in a huge game against the Bills that will tell us a lot about if this Eagles team is really back and if they can be a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, I actually think it's kind of valuable that they have this match with the Commanders because it is a get-right spot. I mean, it's not going to change how we view this team like externally, but I do think internally, if you beat down this team that you should, that is an inferior opponent, that there is a lot of weaknesses when you go down the Commanders roster. It's been a disastrous year from them from just about top to bottom right there. I would love to be this to be just an absolute beatdown that the Eagles are laying it on from start to finish. And I think that breeds a lot of confidence in the building. And by the way, they will close the season with another matchup against the Commanders after that Bills game right there. So 2 chances to have kind of a crack at this. I would love for that to be the case. So I do think today is a day where style points do matter, that Nick Sirianni should not be ready to let the foot off the gas if you do get a lead. And for the Eagles directly, you got to put together a complete game, that this cannot be a matchup where the offense stalls in the second half. I want to see 40-plus points on the board for the Eagles tonight.
This has the potential to be a letdown spot for the Eagles and just a sleepy spot.
Can't be.
Going on the road, divisional matchup, first Saturday football of the year, 5 o'clock kickoff. Just everything about this is weird. And you have the look-ahead factor where they have the Bills next week. They can't let that happen. They just can't. And look, the Commanders are awful, like you talked about. They're decimated. They're playing for a draft pick more than wins at this point. But they also are playing their division rival this week, and that gets them up a little more. So the Eagles have to approach this game like any other game and be ultimately prepared and not avoid the look-ahead sleepy spot that they have the potential to be in. But from the Eagles' perspective, they have to just kill this team. Yes. I mean, they have to prove that they are so far and away better than the bottom crop of the NFL and that they can be a Super Bowl contender. Because I got to be honest with you, I was watching Thursday Night Football the other night. You know what my biggest takeaway was from the Eagles' perspective?
They could beat both these teams?
The complete opposite.
Really? Really?
That was my thought was Eagles have no chance of competing with either of these two teams, who are the 2 Super Bowl favorites in the NFC, the Seahawks and the Rams.
See, I thought the opposite.
Really? Why? I thought that was a great football game between 2 great teams.
It definitely was a great football game between 2 great teams, but I also watched Sam Darnold do his best to blow that game on multiple occasions.
In the first half, came back, played really well in the second half.
I think really well is strong for Sammy Darnold right there. I think we've seen who he is. He's got some Justin Herbert-itis in him when the moment is bright right there. The Rams are the team that scares me the most. There's no doubt about it in my mind. I was surprised that they did not come out and find a way to win this one. I thought they had plenty of chances to do so and didn't, but that also speaks to they're not perfect either, that each of these teams have flaws. Every team in the NFC has flaws. Every team in football has flaws. That I think this is kind of a weak year all around in the NFL, that there is not this juggernaut team. Even like the Patriots, you can water down their record a little bit and saw the Bills just come flying back to defeat them last week. So I think the Eagles have a puncher's chance as much as anyone, but to zoom out in like the wider perspective, not just in the walls of the studio right here, in the greater Philadelphia region, do you think there's anything that can be done by this Eagles team to get them bought back in, get people bought back in on this team can win a Super Bowl
today
this year?
Or the rest of the season?
The next 3 weeks.
If you beat the Bills, 100%.
Okay.
If you beat the Bills, another Super Bowl contender, a team that I'm still picking to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC, that everybody's bought back in. It's like, all right, this team 100% is Super Bowl contender, and they have to win in not convincing fashion, but their offense has to show life. It can't be like a 13-10 game again, where they've had some of those this year. So yeah, that would be an opportunity to convince everyone that this team is a Super Bowl contender. But back to the Rams and Seahawks, I just watched those two games, and those are two really good defenses. Both the Seahawks and Rams are two of the best defenses in the NFL, and each team dropped 30 in regulation on each other. Like, those offenses are just elite in the way that we haven't seen the Eagles be, even if you still think the potential is there because of the talent. This Eagles offense hasn't been elite. Still offensive line concerns, still running game concerns, Jalen Hurts turnover concerns, chemistry with A.J. Brown. I could go down the list of the reasons of why people don't trust this offense, all of which are valid.
Yeah.
And I just don't see that for the Rams or Seahawks, two offenses that proven that they're going to be elite. And I don't know how the Eagles are going to keep pace.
I think it's any way we slice this, to me, it's all like, how much do you believe in the Eagles offense? Because I do believe, regardless of matchup, if it is the Rams, the defense is going to do.
Why do you believe in the offense right now?
That's like the.
There's no reason to.
Sure.
You can say, oh, yeah, the talent. At some point, it doesn't matter if you're not producing.
You're right, but we also just watched this team win a Super Bowl last year, man. And if they can just get hot,
further and further away from that.
You're right. But if they can get hot, if they can string a couple weeks together, like, I do really believe that this defense is going to give the Eagles a chance to win on an every week basis. I think that is going to be true in the postseason. If you can just muster up enough, I'm not asking them to look like the Rams, to be like the prime Chiefs, one of the best offenses in the league. You can just be above average. I think there's a pathway to this team making another Super Bowl run.
I think the pathway's there. I think the NFC is much better this year than last year, and the Eagles are worse this year than last year.
But like the Rams,
I think Rams are unbelievable. I have them coming out of the NFC right now. And you're right, this defense, the championship level defense, but you have to score points. You just do. And I don't want to see the Rams. The Eagles are going to be the 2 or 3 seed. I hope the Rams are the 1 seed so we can avoid them until a conference finals game. And Eagles
49ers somehow still in this mix, by the way.
Eagles fans always show up in LA, so that wouldn't be some crazy home field advantage for the Rams if that conference championship happens. The Rams are just unbelievable. I mean, this offense is so good. Matthew Stafford is so great. Puka Nacua for all the off-field stuff. Like, it doesn't even matter.
What a week.
What a week. He might be an idiot, but it doesn't even matter how much of an idiot he is because he's that great at football. So this Rams team is just special. And here's the other thing. Sean McVay is an excellent coach. The Eagles and Nick Sirianni have pummeled the Rams mentally, physically, emotionally, however you want to put it. That comeback earlier this season, the divisional round game in the snow last season where the Rams had a chance to win late.
Yeah.
And then going back to, I believe they played last regular season too. The Eagles have won. So Nick Sirianni and the Eagles are 3-0 in the last 2 games against the Rams. That will motivate Sean McVay like no other in a potential playoff matchup. This team just really, really concerns me. I do think Eagles can beat everybody else in the NFC. But again, these offenses are just really good in a way that the Eagles haven't been able to produce on that end.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. Well, I still want to believe, man. Like, I want nothing more today, and I know it's the Commanders. I know this means nothing. If they come out and just pummel this team, that'll get me back in a little bit. And I think
will it?
For me, it will. For me, it absolutely will.
I got to see it against the Bills.
Yeah, and we will. We're going to see what happens with it. If they put up 40+ tonight, which I think is in the realm of possibility, we should be talking ourselves back into this Eagles team. Should be regarded as the gold standard in the NFC.
I guess. I mean, they deserve the benefit of the doubt because they did just win a Super Bowl and they do find ways to win games. Like, it's not like they're still, the record is still really good. And when people look at their record, they kind of look at it in a negative manner because of how good they were last year. Still have win against the Packers, the Lions, 2 teams that could make Super Bowl runs.
Yeah.
Not out of it by any means, even if they've slipped up a little bit. Of course, a win against the Rams, win against the Bucks. I believe, right? Yeah. They beat the Bucks. I'm trying to think back to their schedule. So they have wins against some of the best teams in the NFC. It's just how their offense has slipped over the last few weeks. It's hard to imagine a run, but I hope so. I wish I could have the wishful thinking that you do. It's just based on what we've watched the last 6 weeks. It's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. And I do want to transition to the later game a little bit. We have a Packers-Bears matchup. Do you fear either of those teams from a postseason perspective?
I'd love to see the Bears again. Love to see them again. I think they would not be able to run the football down our throats like they did on that Black Friday matchup, and we're the better team. We would get to Caleb Williams. We did in that game against them. I'd feel confident against the Bears. And same thing with the Lions. Like, you talk about Sam Darnold, you don't trust him in big moments. I'd love for Jared Goff to come to Philadelphia and play a playoff game here. I would not trust him in that moment. So I'd feel pretty good against either of those teams.
So what is the pathway for the Eagles today? I do think it's an all-out offensive attack. Is this a Saquon Barkley get-right spot where he can rip off 200 yards of rushing? Is this Jalen Hurts airs it out a ton? They focus on getting A.J. Brown involved. What do you think is the direction that they do attack today?
I'd love to see Saquon early touches, get in a rhythm with the offensive line and let that open up the passing game, which when the Eagles are really good, that's been the formula. You have to have that running threat, and then that can open up the passing game. Maybe some more read options that I'd like to see the Eagles run, which they haven't been doing a lot, but I'd love to see Jalen Hurts be the threat as a runner, which also can open up a struggling running game. So that's kind of what I want to see the approach offensively. This Commanders defense is just awful, like top to bottom. They're awful rushing defense. They're an awful passing defense. They're injured. They're old. They've had a bad year. So Eagles should be able to attack them in a lot of ways, but I want to see that consistent balance, which is what we see when the Eagles are at their best offensively.
Yeah, 100% there. We did brush over the 49ers a little bit. That's a team that this week I kind of had to wake up of, they're still around, that they're still a good team. They're still a team that, like, their record on the season, they're 10-4. They're in the NFC West, so same as the Seahawks and Rams. So they kind of get lost in the shuffle with that. They've gotten healthy. That injuries have been the story this year, but they've continued to just win games. Brock Purdy is back. Christian McCaffrey is healthy. They're getting other key members back. Do you view them as a legitimate threat from a postseason perspective? Because I'm starting to.
They're getting healthier, and Kyle Shanahan's a great coach. Brock Purdy, to me, like, so much of these matchups come down to quarterback play in the postseason, right? Like, who's the better quarterback on the field, and that matters, and then who's going to win in the trenches. Those are the two things you really look at in the playoffs. And I don't think the 49ers have the quarterback in Brock Purdy to go on a playoff run when he's going against a Jalen Hurts, a Jared Goff, a Matthew Stafford, a Sam Darnold even. Like, I know you don't like him, but like a Jordan Love. Like, there's some really good quarterbacks.
I don't know if I'm giving you Jordan Love either.
He's been great. He had a couple bad picks last weekend, but he was really good. I thought he's been playing pretty well last, 3-4 weeks.
I feel like he's had a couple bad picks a lot of weeks this season.
Mean, that's an issue. He's got to cut down the turnovers, but he's still, the talent is there for sure. He can make some throws that not a lot of guys in this league can. To the point about the 49ers, I just don't see them as a real threat. Do you?
I think the defense is very good.
It is.
I think quarterback play has not really mattered to them like the past several seasons. Like, this team went to a Super Bowl. We're not far off with that. Brock Purdy, whether it's Brock Purdy, Mac Jones, you can run down a list of guys they've cycled through. They still find ways to win. Christian McCaffrey is the story of that team, in sort of a similar way that I view the Colts, where that's Jonathan Taylor's team, even if it is Phillip Rivers or Daniel Jones throwing the ball. I think that applies to the 49ers with better options at each of these particular spots, at quarterback, at running back, at defense. You can run down the list. So I kind of am. I mean, I think the NFC is weak. I think you're giving the NFC more credit than I'm willing to. That I think
I think that NFC is the stronger conference.
I don't think anybody individually is that great.
Yeah, I mean, it's as open as it's ever been this year. That's for sure, especially without the Chiefs and Mahomes in the mix. I just think this NFC is so deep. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if the Packers make a run. It wouldn't shock me if the Rams or Seahawks get in there, or the Niners. Of course, it wouldn't shock me if the Eagles get in there. The Lions, there's 5 or 6 teams I think could make the Super Bowl in NFC. That's a good, deep conference.
Let's talk AFC. The Denver Broncos. Are they frauds, or are you buying?
No, they're not frauds.
Okay.
They have such a great coach, and people can criticize Bo Nix all you want. He's throwing the ball down the field more this season than he was last season, and he's just as clutch as it gets. You talk about a winner in this league. He is as clutch as it gets.
Relax.
His fourth quarter comebacks, he is. You talk about guys who aren't made for the bright lights all the time. You love to say Justin Herbert and Sam Darnold.
Yep.
Bo Nix is. He just is. He is a winner, and how he produces in the fourth quarter, game after game, where the Broncos are able to come back, or it looks like they're out of it, and they just beat down teams for 4 quarters and have these late game comebacks. It's so impressive. And in a year where it's like Drake May's an inexperienced playoff quarterback, Bo Nix is an inexperienced playoff quarterback, Josh Allen deserves the edge in the AFC, but all these AFC contenders, there's not a lot of players or quarterbacks who have a lot of experience in the playoffs. So it wouldn't shock me if a second-year quarterback who's proven that he's clutch with one of the best coaches in the NFL and a great defense make the Super Bowl. I don't think the Broncos are frauds at all.
Interesting.
You do?
I'm a little skeptical still. It doesn't pass the sniff test fully.
But who can't they beat in the AFC? That's the thing. They can make the Super Bowl. They're not frauds.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's definitely true. The Bills do deserve a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, but then again, Josh Allen's come up small in some big games too, and I think that gets lost in the conversation because
You think Josh Allen's come up small in big games?
I think he absolutely has.
I don't. I think Josh Allen has been great in most of those big games. I think it's been his defense that's let him down.
Mostly true, but I think that there have been. I mean, I watched him last year have a chance to drive down. Give him a
okay, but what the Bills score 30 in that game against the Chiefs?
Yeah, but he had the ball.
That's
at
not
the
his
end.
fault. Yes, he hasn't made every play he possibly could. But it's not like the Bills lost that game because of Josh Allen, the way the Ravens lose a lot of those Ravens-Chiefs matchups because of Lamar Jackson.
Sure. The Lamar stuff is frustrating, man, because he is incredible, and he's just got to have that one run. I don't want to do...
Feels like...
Joel? You going to do Joel Embiid?
No, I wasn't going to do that because the injuries aren't as bad. I was going to say it feels like it's over in Baltimore. Do you think he could be off the Ravens next year?
I more so think they go the coaching direction, that they do a Harbaugh shakeup.
He's such a great coach.
He is.
Any NFL team will pick him up in a second.
Yeah, but he's been there forever, and it does feel like there needs to be a change. And as much as they're always going to side with the quarterback over the coach, just for the replacement factor thing. Harbaugh, maybe he's an exception to that. I kind of think that's the direction that things do shake out. The other team that I did want to throw in the mix, I'm buying the Houston Texans, man.
Oh, yeah.
The defense, incredible. Yeah. CJ Stroud, I don't know what happened to him because I thought he was on the pathway to being like one of the truly elite quarterbacks in the NFL. That has not exactly played itself out, but I think he can do enough to lead this offense. They have weapons there. I think the Texans would be my AFC pick currently.
Really?
Yes.
You're right about defense. It's legit. I mean, they get after the quarterback the way no other team in the league does. I'm not sold on the offense. As good as defenses are, which is what we're talking about with the Eagles, like they have a Super Bowl contender defense. You have to be able to score points in the playoffs and produce consistent drives, move the ball down the field to give your defense good field position to make plays and get stops. So I just don't trust CJ Stroud in that offense. Defense is certainly a Super Bowl contending defense. But while we're talking about frauds, the Jacksonville Jaguars are complete frauds.
Yes.
And I know you're not a Trevor Lawrence guy.
T-Flaw?
That's a good nickname. I haven't heard that from you before. You should make up that one.
No, I've heard that before for sure.
I just don't see it with this Jags team.
I think Trevor Lawrence is one of the more overrated quarterbacks in the sport. I haven't exactly been shy about that opinion. I've gone head to head with our guy John Jansen quite a bit about it. He's playing good football right now, but I do not see it with this team as a whole.
Yeah, the talent doesn't stack up to like the Patriots or the Broncos or the Bills. But right now, it's still the Bills. This is as clear of a path as it'll ever be for Josh Allen without Mahomes in the mix, with a hampered Lamar Jackson and Ravens team against a lot of inexperienced young quarterbacks that he's going to go against. And he doesn't necessarily have the weapons. His defense can be up and down. We'll see what they're like in the playoffs. But it just feels like this is the Bills' year. It's now or never for that team. It's kind of like the Knicks almost in the East, where it's like all these injuries and these certain teams that have been knocked out. The last two Eastern Conference champions, the Pacers and Celtics, it's now or never for that team. The path is wide open. And I think the Bills, just like the Knicks, have to run through that door. It's this year or it's never.
Does having a kid help or hurt Josh Allen?
You just had a kid?
Just announced that Haley is pregnant.
Oh, I think it helps.
Okay.
Right? I don't know.
Little dad strength.
I don't have a kid, so I couldn't tell you, but I think it helps. Haley Steinfeld, great actress.
Yes.
No Madison Beer, but great actress.
Does she act?
I think she's
singer.
Madison Beer?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea. But Haley Steinfeld, you showed me the clip that Michael B. Jordan.
Sinners, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a good look for Josh Allen.
I don't know how there's not more Michael B. Jordan signs up at Bills games. That would be my immediate heckle.
It's acting. Like there's nothing there. It's not like the Braxton Berrios situation with the Dancing with the Stars thing.
Yeah, that's
where it's like there
too.
might be something there if you're doing that over a 3-month stretch. That's not acting.
I have
what Haley Steinfeld's doing is acting.
That is just relationship suicide if you allow your partner to go on Dancing with the Stars right there. I think it's like
especially when you're doing long distance.
Yes, and it like you're just rubbing up on him and doing all that close dancing. Like it's a recipe for disaster. And
But hey, his football career was a priority. And when has he logged 10 snaps this year for the Texans?
Yeah, last I looked, I believe it was 3 consecutive weeks of coach's decision did not play. So not even suiting up.
I can't imagine a team signing him next year. So it's like you sacrifice your relationship for that one extra year in football. We all make decisions in life.
Yeah, and Alex Earl was not Braxton Berrios' decision there. So yeah, we'll see how that shakes out.
This is football. We're talking football right now.
We are. MVP. Matt Stafford the guy?
I think so. I'd give it to him right now. If he won that game against the Seahawks, I think he'd wrap it up.
Yeah.
He's just been great, and it's just like it's an open, fumble. Ooh.
Got back on it.
Miami gets back, or Miami almost had a fumble. Texas A&M gets back on it. If the Rams won that game, it would have been over. But just like the Super Bowl race, the MVP race is wide open. I'd give it to Matt Stafford right now. I think Drake May still has a case. I think some other guys still have a case, but it just feels like who else deserves it over Matt Stafford? Nobody.
Yeah, I do think it's going to be Stafford. The top three, Stafford's minus 225 favorite I'm seeing right now. Drake May at plus 300, Josh Allen plus 425, and then a massive drop off to Sam Darnold next at plus 7,500. So really a 3-horse race with 1 horse significantly in the lead there. The Drake May stuff, I'm almost ready to say we're crowning this dude a little bit too quickly.
Why?
Because we just did this with CJ Stroud, and I feel like whenever a guy has like the one breakout year, and I guess
he was really good the second half of the year last year.
Yeah, that is a fair point. I think the postseason is going to tell us a lot about Drake May. He seems to be about all the right things. It's maddening that New England just has another quarterback like this. Maybe I'm overreacting right here, but it just feels like a bit premature that we're rushing this guy into those conversations.
I do think his character, his work ethic, all those things are what you want in a franchise quarterback and can help carry you, even if he goes through slumps at some point in his career. I don't really care that much about the playoffs this year for him, honestly, because rookie quarterbacks, or he's not a rookie, he's a second-year guy, but it'll be his first playoff run. You're allowed to mess up in the playoffs. I mean, playoff football is just a different beast, and you can't really experience it until you're in it. And it's not like he even played in some college football playoff atmospheres. So you're allowed to mess up and then learn from that and get over those humps. So I don't care really what he does in his first playoff appearance. I just think he's so good. I mean, he throws that deep ball beautifully. He's great at escaping the pocket. He is great decision maker. He's a great quarterback. He has all the intangibles you would want in a quarterback. I can't really imagine, and we do crown a lot of guys early when they're young, but I can't really imagine this being some fall off premature crowning for Drake May. I really do think he's that good.
It does look legit. Like this is less of like an eye test thing of it. He looks the part to me, but I just need to see a little bit more results. I do not want him to slip into Justin Herbert territory here if we're just talking hypotheticals. And by the way, I do not forget all the takes from everyone coming into the year of how Justin Herbert, this is the year that he's going to win a Super Bowl, get over the playoff hump.
Talk about teams in the AFC.
He's got the team around him. You believe in the Chargers?
I think they can make a run.
Are they mathematically eliminated? I feel like they are. I thought they were. Let's see.
I could be wrong. I thought that Eagles win was huge for them.
Let's see. No, they're not. They're 10-4. They're not mathematically eliminated. They're second place in the AFC West. That team's
we're acting like a 10-4 season's a bad season.
Yeah,
but they've been awesome, and they have the Cowboys, Texans, and Broncos to finish up the year, which pretty hard matchups. We'll see how they finish the year, but this team, the defense is legit. I like Justin Herbert obviously way more than you.
Mistake.
It wouldn't shock me if they make a run.
I hope that they make the playoffs because I need to know what is the way that he's going to blow this postseason game. I think we're in for the fumble year. I think there's going to be a year where he has like 9 fumbles in a game. It could be this season. I'm rooting for Justin Herbert to get in the playoffs. You know, I want to see what happens.
Well, they'll be underdogs in any playoff game.
That's fine. I mean, they were.
So I'm just getting ahead of the excuse that like you're going to expect them to win. I'm going to say, well, they were an underdog in this game. They weren't expected to win.
Well, they should be underdogs against every single team in the postseason. Who could they realistically beat in the AFC?
They could beat the Texans.
No, they can't. No, they
can't.
I
just don't trust the Texans' offense. Texans will be favored for sure. I don't trust their offense.
What happened last year when he played the Texans? What happened last year when he played the Texans in the playoffs?
What was it? 4 picks?
Yep.
Justin Herbert third?
Yep.
It wouldn't shock me if the Chargers beat the Broncos. Like the Broncos are beatable. The Pats to me are beatable. Like I could see an upset happening there. The AFC is so open and the league is so open this year that I could see a team like the Chargers sneak in, play good football down the stretch, and make a little run.
The Colts would beat them. The
Colts are not getting in, right?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I see nowhere where the Chargers. That would be breaking me in a different way. But I still have my bookmarks are saved on Twitter right here.
Sure, you'll do your victory lap the second they're eliminated.
That's correct. I'm waiting for that day, and I'm certain it will come.
Hey, he was the MVP through 2 weeks. That's a fact.
What should have been Daniel Jones at that point, and that's the exact Justin Herbert stuff that makes me mad. Of just earn it, man. Nobody wins things. Everyone could have 2-week stretches. We've seen plenty of guys. Gardner Minshew has looked like an MVP caliber player for 2 weeks at a time. I need him to earn it, and Justin Herbert has never had to earn it. I will say, like, my respect for him has increased this year, that I have not been as much of a Herbert hater. I give him credit for battling through the broken hand, playing like sort of like, leaving it all on the field in a way that I don't think we've seen from him in the past. So my hatred has died down slightly.
That's big of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
I'm
a
growing.
mature man, growing up, getting old, I guess, right there. So, yeah, that's about all the NFL talk. Any final takes that you do have for us, Sam Oshtry?
I don't think so. I think the Eagles win pretty big today, and I think it's a big Jalen Hurts day, both on the ground and through the air. But again, I want to see that running game get going. I want to see some more read option, make Jalen Hurts a runner, as a threat as a runner at the very least. And I just want to see them kill this team. And it's a sleepy spot. It's a look-ahead spot. That can't affect you. If you're going to be a legitimate Super Bowl contender, you have to beat up on awful teams, even in a divisional matchup. And that's what you have to see the Eagles do today. And I think you will see that. The line's only 7. I could see them winning by 2 or 3 scores.
Me as well. Do you have a final score prediction for us?
Yeah, I'll go 31-10.
31-10. I like that. I think they get in the 40s. I'm going 44-23. I think we're in for some points. 23 might be a lot, but I'm giving the Commanders a little bit of benefit there.
If this offense scores 40-plus points and it's not from the defense at all, then I could be bought back in.
That's what I'm feeling.
I don't care who the opponent's against. That's really impressive.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm feeling. We will see what happens there. And I also would leave with the final belief right here. Sixers also bringing one in for the landing tonight. I like them going back-to-back. I like them beating the Dallas Mavericks. Score prediction there, a little bit on the lower scoring side of things. The Mavericks are going to play some good defense. I'm going to go 113-107, a Sixers victory tonight. So I think both Philadelphia teams get the job done. We will see if that is how things shake out. Appreciate you for hanging for myself, Sean Barnard, and Sam Oshtry right here on this fine Saturday. Enjoy the rest of the sports carousel flying around. Plenty of action to get involved in today. So make sure you keep it locked. We got plenty more coming, heading back out to Fox Sports National on the other side of this break. Appreciate you guys for hanging once again. We'll be talking with you next week. Peace.
iHeart Radio Earth is here with a new way to enjoy our beautiful planet. Reduce your impact on the environment